but we'll sort that out and you'll have to make do with my voice for the time being. I'm joined today by Tony Page, President of Sports Experiences at Deltatre. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Ollie. Thanks for inviting me on and pleasure to be here.
No problem at all. So Tony and I are going to be talking to you today for about half an hour. And essentially we want to discuss a few things. We're going to talk a bit about remote workflows, cloud workflows, how Deltatre and Blackbird fit into that, and some of the work that we've done together over the last few years as well. There will be time for questions at the end. There should be a Q&A or a chat function coming into the webinar as well, and we're gonna cover some of those off at the end. Now, we've as always, I can see quite a few familiar names that have popped into the webinar here, but we've got some new ones as well. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to hand over to Tony in a second so he can give us a little bit of context and an introduction to Deltatre. I'm going to do the same just for a few minutes, really, as an introduction to Blackbird and have a very good look at the tool. And then we're going to talk about the workflows as discussed, and we're also going to look at one or two case studies of real life examples where we're using the platform here. So Tony, you should be able to steal the share from me and introduce Deltatre to everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie. Here we go. Hopefully everyone can see my screen now. So yeah, for those of you not familiar with Deltatre, I've got just a couple of slides really to give you a quick overview of who we are and what we do. So we've been around for 35 years this year, and we're the world's leading sports technology provider, offering data, graphics, OTT and live broadcast solutions. We provide the development, delivery and operation of data-driven platforms for sport production, enhancement and consumption across a variety of digital and live touch points. And on the video side of things as well, we work with some of the largest broadcast and media companies in the world powering their OTT platforms. So as much as we've traditionally been involved and associated with sport, we also do have a huge footprint in fan engagement across the wider entertainment space as well. We create and run next-gen video platforms, enhancing user journeys from acquisition through to the actual user experience itself. And we help our clients and organizations grow their service and audiences through that journey as well. And ultimately our mission is to transform fan experiences in whatever we do. We continually drive the latest technologies or workflows to deliver those experiences, providing engaging content or new insights into the sports that we work on. We are now roughly about 1,000, just over 1,000 staff globally, and we've got offices in many countries, which really enables us to not only deliver at scale, but keep a local and personal approach with all of our clients as well. And then Sport Experiences is the business unit that I look after, and we are focused on, again, delivering great fan experiences across many outputs, such as web, mobile, social, TV graphics, and AR graphics. Almost always underpinned by data and having a great understanding of sports and sport data to either drive that experience or help our clients with their workflows as well through their productions. So yeah, that's the kind of brief summary from me of Deltatre. Ollie, back to you.
Thanks, Tony. Yep, very enlightening. I can vouch for that. I'm going to see if I can get my camera on now. I can. Hi, everybody. You have to put up with my face as well as my screen now. So I'm going to pull the share back here and just take a couple of minutes really to talk through an introduction, a little bit about Blackbird. So I'm assuming most people know by now we're a cloud-based video editing platform. What we really do is we solve a lot of problems people tend to have around remote access to media, That media could be existing in traditional on-premise infrastructure or in cloud infrastructure. This can be live stream content or traditional and kind of archive and library file content. And essentially, we're providing a window into that. So you can log into a web browser from anywhere, access that instantly, create video content from it. And that is anything from fast turnaround, simple kind of content through to more complex highlights edit, new package editing, and so on, before publishing out. And we publish into social media platforms, OTT and VOD distribution, or even traditional broadcast as well. Now, Blackbird is a new name to some people, relatively new, but actually we've got a very established customer base we've been working with for a number of years. Deltatre, pride of place in the middle of this slide in that case. And actually, we're talking about a couple of different workflows today, but as you can see, we span quite a wide range of customers, from sports clubs up through federations and leagues, service providers and broadcasters themselves, and that's across news and sports as well. We also work in the traditional post-production market, so we work with most of the major post houses in Soho and beyond, doing the more traditional workflows. And many of our customers, particularly actually A&E networks on this slide here, use a combination of this. So obviously one of the key things for us is applying into multiple workflows within a customer to really take advantage of the access to media and make as much content as they can. So a few of the core reasons, as we're talking about these workflows, speed and agility is obviously a key one for anything in the cloud. For us, when we talk about live, and that's particularly relevant for us today, this is the ability to access and work on live streams little as 5 seconds behind live. Cost savings can come around infrastructure, and we're not digging too deep into the technical today, but Blackbird is a very different architecture and can save a huge amount of infrastructure deployment on cloud workflows. Remote working is very relevant, and Blackbird being usable on as little as a 2 meg internet connection really enables some different environments to come into play when we're looking at people working in different locations and working remotely. Quality for us is very important, not just the quality of the tool set, but the quality of the output that we're providing, and that's why we apply to so many different workflows. And video everywhere, as I mentioned, A&E, it's not just about distribution. This is about every department in that business, every user in that business being able to access video and make the most of it. Now, very, very quickly, I'm going to dip into the platform here, just so you can have a quick look at this. Obviously, if you want a full demo, we're more than happy to schedule that and dig a little deeper. But essentially, logged into a standard web browser here, no add-ons, no plugins or anything like that, and no local media, I can come in and have instant access to any piece of content. So today we're going to be talking a bit about the European tour. And as you can see, I can load up live streams or file-based content here with no latency, no download time, no delay. I have instant, completely non-linear access to this video. These pieces of media are actually 24 hours long. And essentially I can go anywhere within a piece of content and see down to every single frame of media. So it's a completely an unrivaled level of access where your users in any location have instant access to every single frame of an unlimited amount of file and live stream media. Now, when they're in here, obviously we're going to create. So for a lot of our customers, the look that I'm working in now, and this is a completely customizable layout, allows me to sit just a few seconds behind live, create a clip very quickly and easily, and drag and drop and publish that out. It's a Facebook publish, so I get a Facebook pop-up. But essentially, for a lot of our customers in the live sports and news world, being able to generate simple clips just a few seconds behind live is pretty critical. Now, I can move through other functions here where we have sequencing tools that are designed, again, for non-technical users to be able to come and very quickly and very easily create completely accurate sequence content, publish that out automatically branded to multiple endpoints and so on. I can also use logging and metadata backends in here to search and find my media before coming through finally to the full edit UI. And this is where Blackbird comes into its own. We've done the access and we've done the fast turnaround of content. Now I'm in a position where I can create some really special content, still operating fully within that web browser environment. So I'm not we don't have the time to go too deep into this today, but essentially 12 video tracks, 32 audio tracks, 100% real-time rendered transitions, where you can see just in this example, I have the ability to do things like color fades, multi-layer overlays, color correction, scale and position control over my additional pieces of media, different various types of video transition and audio transitions, including completely independent video and audio control, and some complex mixing, pan level control and things like that. On top of that, there's functions such as voiceover, full subtitle and closed caption control too. So like I said, it was just a 5-minute intro really. We're more than happy to organize some more in-depth demos, but hopefully gives you a bit of an idea about what's possible in Blackbird, you know, and why our customers are coming to use these tools inside that entirely browser-based scalable platform. So I'm gonna come back over. I'll actually stop my screen share for a second here, and ask Tony a couple of questions here, because we want to dig in a bit, obviously, to you know, how we're working together specifically. But as a starting point, Tony, when did Deltatre, you know, start providing remote and cloud workflows? I think it was a while ago. And how have the requirements that you're getting from customers changed recently?
Yeah. Just before we start, I can't switch on my video either, so I'm going to.
Okay, we've got a lovely picture of you
from the ether for now.
So yeah. we'll try and fix that.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say the lockdown haircut I have is very different to that image, but let's just pretend I still look like that for now. Yeah, so we have been providing remote and cloud workflows for many years now. We've worked with you guys for many years, and having provided services for live sports events for, as I said before, you know, over 30 years now. We've seen a huge change, and you know, what's become more and more clear over recent years is that our clients are continually looking for new ways to produce more content for less money. Now, that's not to say that our clients are always looking to drive costs down, but what they're trying to achieve is to deliver to many more outlets than ever before. You know, no longer is it just about the broadcast coverage. There's also additional content needed for digital properties, for social, for it might be behind the scenes footage, or you know, as you just described during your demo, fast turnaround clips or highlights as well. So there's loads of new and different ways to engage that our clients want to do, but without hugely increasing budgets either. So being able to do more remotely or in the cloud really helps the scale and volume of what can be produced without increasing on-site footprints and the costs associated with that. And you know, using a tool like Blackbird, so decoupling that ingest from the editing gives a lot of freedom and flexibility in that space, and allows multiple remote editors to all access the same content and either work in isolation on individual pieces or collaboratively together. So,
sure.
You know, that's the real shift we've seen. Sorry, and to just say, you know, of course, the current pandemic and restrictions we're facing globally as well, with travel and just general contact, is further driving that acceleration to look at ways to still produce events with fewer people on site, and you know, with people working from home, tools again such as Blackbird are really the only way to edit. Otherwise, you've got the huge headache of transferring huge files.
Moving media around.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you know, we've seen a similar thing, which is you know, COVID has meant that people have to send all their core functions home, right, and come up with pretty fast remote workflows for that. But what we'd seen, I think, before this was exactly what you were talking about: the drive to make more content, and obviously where cloud and scalable solutions help with that particularly is opening up what was traditionally a core, very well defined broadcast technology workflow with a team of highly skilled people, taking that and opening that up to, you know, the wider business, where any number of teams, marketing, promo, social, digital, you know, can make use of the same content. so that, you know, we've seen both of those sides, I think, in the last couple of years. And I know we're focused a little bit more on video content today, but that's not the only arrow in your quiver. How do these kind of requirements fit into the wider kind of Deltatre business?
Yeah, a big part of our business is still the services we provide around live sports production. You know, and as you look at the shift to more remote production, distributed production, it's worth remembering that there's no kind of one size fits all model either. Every host broadcaster will have slightly different needs or a different view on what's critical to have on site and what can potentially be done remotely. So we've always tried to stay, you know, super flexible in our approach and try to accommodate whatever the needs customers have. So, for example, with our broadcast graphics provision, to maximize reusability, we may have all of our renderers based in a central facility, hundreds of miles from a match or an event that's taking place, with the ability to then either receive the clean feed from the venue, do the graphics insertion, and then transmit from there. Or just as easily, we can send synchronized fill and key of the graphics to the venue so that it can still be inserted locally, distributed locally, and transmitted locally from there. All the while still keeping the usual kind of features that a director would expect from a broadcast production, such as your previews and tallies and things like that. Then, you know, another model is where broadcasters want to bring as much of the production off-site as possible. So when they do that, they may still, again, have obligations to provide certain facilities on venue for local broadcasters. You know, any kind of commitments that the local event and tournament organisers might also have. So in that case, we can also send some graphics equipment on site, wherever that is, all over the globe, but completely unmanned. So it just needs the local facilities provider to power it, plug in the right SDI cables, and then we can control that completely remotely in certain graphics, again, totally synchronized with the world feed, which we might be producing back in London alongside, you know, again, in a central facility, but they've got either local language feed or slightly different graphic style, maybe. Oh, here we go. There we go. You can see me.
We've got you.
Good. Yeah. So as I was saying, totally synchronized still, but making sure that they can still provide whatever is needed on venue locally without, again, us or anybody else needing to be on site to support that operation. And moreover, now graphics render software is fully cloud capable as well. So we're able to run instances of it in the cloud, insert graphics directly onto streams with full functionality you'd expect from, you know, your high-end broadcast 3D renderer, animations, lighting effects, full works, but without, again, the need for downloading or including SDI workflows, which are generally you know, more expensive, more complex.
Yeah.
And given the range of services that we deliver to our clients, being able to combine the data with the cloud-based graphics production and then the delivery of those digital streams to the OTT platforms, you know, it's a really interesting workflow topic, and gives you other opportunities to then really start looking at, you know, other more greater personalization opportunities as well, because you can start creating distinct feeds for either different platforms, different territories, and not at the kind of price point that you would have to do if you were creating multiple linear feeds.
Yeah, so it's an interesting comparison, I think, because I have a bit of a graphics background myself, as some may know, but you know, by the nature of those types of workflows, your users are separate, right? You're triggering actions that can happen elsewhere. So we've seen those types of functions move remote and move to the cloud, you know, very easily, or more easily. Whereas video, and certainly, you know, although we're talking about very close to live here, it's still a form of post-production essentially. that's been kind of stuck in traditional application workflows because exactly what you said before, because of the necessity to move media to people to work. And you know, when you're discussing centralization and stuff, that is absolutely the core of what we do, is allowing anybody anywhere to work on media without moving it and have those kind of centralized functions.
Yeah.
That's accessible by anybody. Excellent. So let's move on. We're going to chat a little bit about European Tour here. So got a slide to guide us. As a starting point, tell me a little bit about how, you know, how we've been working with European Tour in the last couple of years, and what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, so we provide European Tour's website and apps, which is built on top of our publishing platform Forge. But in addition to that, we also use Blackbird to create video clips and edits from the world feed that we can then publish directly to the website, but also to social media platforms as well. And we have operators, staff that do that, but we can also then collaborate in real time with the European Tour and their editorial team as well, around specific edits and clips, you know, with all the users operating on their own single instance. So really for European Tour, it's or, you know, us as part of our service provision with European Tour, Blackbird's around saving us time and money, really. Prior to us introducing it and using it, European Tour would have had to send editors to every single tournament, you know, and the cost of that all adds up when you take it, flights, hotels, per diems, everything into account. And not only is it the kind of cost side of things as well, but also, again, shifting that footage from venue and being able to edit on it and upload and distribute the content. It used to be a much longer, more arduous task, and then, you know, on a lot of cases, you've missed the important kind of live story breaking opportunity, and you're showing things that are much more delayed, if you like. And, you know, that's why we sort of started to work with Blackbird, really, because you get what is effectively a very robust editing tool, some really good features and functionality, all browser based. And as you demoed before, you know, with the split track audio, ability to do mixes, add graphics, fade things in, picture in picture, all of those features are you know, really powerful and really easy to use. And one of the key factors for us as well, you know, we've got an office in Wimbledon, South London, and office space in London and rack space is at a premium, you know, so you need to try and maximize what you've got. So not having the need for, you know, racks worth of equipment to be permanently housed in there to only be used on specific events. Again, being able to use Blackbird and have the browser-based technology just really, you know, really helps, makes that a sort of cost-efficient, cost-effective way of working and a really flexible way of working.
Yeah, it's well, good. Thank you for saying so. The European Tour is a really interesting one for us as well, funnily enough, because you know, you talked about obviously all the cost savings that go with not having to send editors around and everything, and obviously the environmental impacts becoming more and more in the forefront of everyone's minds. I think it's going to be a hard thing to go back to from where we're at now. But for us, it's interesting because obviously we work with a lot of companies where we're putting a workflow for internal teams to use. What's critical about this workflow is that not only is it the Deltatre tour, but it's also allowing the European Tour team to access this content themselves, work on the live streams, as you said, produce their own social media content out. And where we've I think in the traditional way of working, if you want a third party or another partner or potentially other users to be able to access content, you come across a whole host of painful workflows with allowing access or moving media, setting up additional infrastructure. I'm back. Did you lose me for a minute, Tony?
Yeah, I lost you for a sec.
Oh, I've got you. Lost me for a second there. Yeah, so I was just saying it's particularly relevant because of the fact that there are multiple parties involved in that. Yeah,
absolutely, and we've got other use cases as well where, as you say, sort of multiple parties working on the same content or distributed parties working on the same content. That's really useful. And the fact that as well you can start editing whilst something is still taking place is really, really powerful as well, because it means that, whilst a match or an event or something is going on, we can start to clip up the content, start to produce the highlights, if you like, so that by the time you get to the final whistle or the end of the day's play, your cut down highlights edit is there. It's already ready to go. You're not having to then worry about starting to get hold of the footage and then going through your match log and starting to find all the interesting bits. You've pretty much already cut it by the time you get to the end. So for fast turnaround stuff, again, that sort of continual growing stream of content is really, really useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I know we're about to overrun, but I've got one more question I want to ask you, Tony. Before I do, in case people do have other engagements to go off to, I'm just gonna say thank you for attending, and if you want to get in touch, there's going to be a poll pop up on your screen in a minute. Of course, you can email in or jump to the website as well. So if you do need to run, thanks very much for your time today. Tony, I think the final thing, not to take too much time, that I wanted to kind of dig into a little bit or ask you about is, whether, this could be a short answer to this question, whether the possibilities of remote workflows, everything we've talked about today around not just Blackbird and video production, but virtualizing, centralizing graphics functions and everything like that, has it changed? Has it just changed how Deltatre achieves these workflows, or has it actually opened up new avenues and kind of changed what you can offer customers as well as how you offer
it? Yeah, I think it has changed what we can offer, really. Yes, there's two elements. You're right. One is just a different way of offering the same kind of services. But actually, as I was sort of articulating a little bit earlier, when you start to bring all of the different things together into a virtualized or cloud platform, the ability to start creating additional bespoke, in some cases, content for people becomes so much simpler. In some ways, it takes a lot of the headache away, because you've got all the content available in the same kind of place, whether that is bringing together the video, the data, everything else. You can start to synchronize it and create some really interesting propositions for people. So yeah, it's not just a case of simplifying workflows or reducing costs. These are all good things that you can do. But I think it does, in answer to your question, yes, it gives us opportunities to look at different avenues for solutions and services for our clients.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I think that's where we're at now. I think certainly our feeling from customers has been, a focus in the last year to achieve something very distinct, and then what the questions that are being asked now is what actually then is possible next if we take a longer term view on it.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. All right, well, we've used an extra few minutes, so thanks to everyone who's still with us. Tony, thank you for your time today. We could have
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
more than half an hour, I think. Thanks to everybody for bearing with us on one or two little Zoom issues. We've done a lot of these webinars, and this is the first time it's let me down, but so I can't complain too much. But yeah, you know, absolutely get in touch if you want to find out more from either me or Tony. Let us know, and otherwise, thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.